So, 2020, huh? Yeah. Okay, let's talk about it. I had hopes, like high hopes, like up here. Like this year was going to be my year. And I know, people were saying that New Year's Day 2020, but like I really felt like this year was going to be my year because I had so many things planned. So many things that, put this plan, I've done this, cool. It's all going to happen. It's all coming. One of those was, I was going to have my wedding, the 26th of April. We were going to be traveling overseas and interstate for different things, including my friends' weddings. So I think there was like 4 friends of mine, all weddings this year. And it was just going to be this big year. There was so much, going on, so much expectation. And what I got instead was we had to cancel our wedding celebration because COVID. And we had to decide to get married within 24 hours in the backyard with just family because, that's what it is. I lost an aunt of mine, and because of COVID, we couldn't attend the funeral because of numbers. So we watched her funeral on Zoom. Weird, and everything in between. I've watched a friend's wedding on Zoom already this year. The rest of the weddings, it's still to be known. Are they happening? I don't know. It's just been crazy. Needless to say, travel plans down the drain. Nobody's going anywhere. I mean, I can't even travel to the next suburb, okay? Like, it's just been insane. Now, the thing is, right, like, I'm not special in any way with these experiences because, a lot of us have been through a lot, have lost a lot. A lot of us are grieving. And I know that when we think of grief, we tend to think of like, you grieve a person, but really grief is just loss, right? So a lot of us are going through this. And, for some of you, it might have been your last year of high school and you had these hopes and dreams of what it would be like and formal and, the memories you were going to make with your friends. And it's hard, right? Like it's really, really hard. Maybe for someone else, you finally had the guts to ask that girl out and you were going to be seeing her at school every day and it was going to be nice, it was going to be cute, and now you're at home. For some of you, maybe you were going to, finally throw your big 16th birthday party and all your friends were going to be there. And yeah, like a lot of us have gone through different things. We've lost different things. And in a sense, it's been a time of grief. It's been a time of trying to make sense of things, of trying to understand how do we move forward. And there's something that I've learned, a part of it through this time, but also before this time, because the thing about disappointment and grief is that, it's not just a thing for 2020, right? Like it's a thing in life. The Bible says, in this world you will have trouble. It is just a part of this life. And something that I learned some time ago is called lamenting. And to lament, it's been helping me walk through the disappointment and grief with God. All the different things I've kind of been going through and trying to make sense of, lamenting's been helping me to do that. Now, what is to lament? Now, the definition for lament is a passionate expression of grief or sorrow. Someone else says, to lament is to name what is wrong, what is out of order on God's earth, and what keeps humans from thriving in all their creating potential. So really to lament is just to express passionately what your sorrow is, what your grief is, how how deep it is for you to paint a picture. You might be wondering, like, yes, and then that's cute. How does that help? Now, the reason why lamenting is important is because simple acts of lamenting, of expressing, expose these conditions. They name them, they open them to grief and anger, and make them visible for remedy. The thing is, like, when we're going through things and it's heavy and we're disappointment, and we just, keep it here, keep it chill, just be positive, keep moving, just keep swimming, is that sometimes we don't open that up for remedy, open it up for healing. And I know that, in our society, we live in a space where, like, it's, you can do this, just keep swimming, every day, just find happiness, be positive. And, these things are important. But the thing is, that shouldn't be at the cost of us sitting down and expressing when things are hard, and, sitting in our grief, sitting in our sorrow, and really going through it. And there's a whole book in the Bible known as Lamentations. And, if you were to go in there, it's just 5 chapters. And it is just, people painting a picture of their grief, of their sorrow, of what it feels like to be where they're at. And I thought I'd just read a few examples from Lamentations chapter 3. Chapter 3, I'll read verse 19 and 20, and then I'll move on. Verse 19 says, "The thought of my suffering and homelessness is bitter beyond words. I will never forget this awful time as I grieve over my loss." Chapter 3, verse 47 says, "We are filled with fear, for we are trapped, devastated, and ruined. Tears stream from my eyes because of the destruction of my people." So, these words are, really painting the picture. This is what it feels like. It's painful, it hurts. And if you actually go into different parts, there's a part that talks about, it feels like I'm chewing on gravel. I want you to imagine that, the feeling of chewing on gravel. Just the thought of it makes me think, ugh. But the reason why I've found that lamenting, expressing how you're actually feeling, what's going on, painting that picture is important, is because that it actually opens up the room for healing. Otherwise, we're just people moving through life, moving through and just trying to keep it together, moving through and trying to keep, happiness at the top. And really, at some point, we fall apart. And as I've been going through, most of you been going through all these different things, I've been really thinking about this practice of lamenting, of expressing. And for me, it's looked like, I'm someone who likes to write, and it's looked like sitting down, with my journal, piece of paper, whatever. And because I'm also someone who wants to let God into the deepest part of my life, right? To all the corners, I like to tell God like it is. And I feel like it's something that really helps my Christian walk, and something that helps me heal. I'll sit down, with my journal, with a piece of paper, and I'll be like, okay, how am I actually feeling about this? And sometimes, the words are, I feel like X, like I feel sad, or I feel unhappy, or I feel disappointed, right? The words are clear. But sometimes I don't really have like a word to sum it up. So sometimes it's been, God, I feel like someone has thrown me under a bus and is driving back and forth over me. Or I feel like my heart has actually broken into pieces. And it's in those deep moments with him, when I really tell him what it's like, when I talk to him about my disappointment, about my sorrow, where I start to feel like he's there with me, where I start to see his hand of healing when I look back. And the thing is, like, when we talk about grief, when we talk about sorrow, is that it really is in two parts. You grieve the loss of something, right? So the loss of, in my case, the loss of, the wedding celebration that we didn't end up having, and having to postpone that. And then the second part is the remaking of a life. To be like, okay, let's build. What does that look like? And sometimes you might feel like that sadness and all that coming back again. And I know that some of you have been, going through it. Like, what does this year even mean? How do I get this back? How do I build those memories with my friends when, we're on Zoom and we can't really do what we'd usually do at school? It's hard. And I really just want to encourage you to sit with God and let him know what it's actually like. Because then it's open for remedy. I think we need to put aside the just keep swimming, just be positive, just keep going, and sit with it and be like, God, this is what it feels like. And I need you to heal. And I need you to help me move forward. Because the thing is, he wants to be a part of that. He wants to be let into your sorrow, into your hurt, into your grief. And he does want to heal it. So as you navigate through whatever's ahead, 2020 or not, as you navigate through it, I just want to encourage you to sit and let God in. Really, really in. And let him know what it actually feels like. So that he can heal. I'm just going to end with Lamentations chapter 3, verse 19 to 25. And it says, "The thought of my suffering and homelessness is bitter beyond words. I will never forget this awful time as I grieve over my loss. Yet I still dare to hope when I remember this. The faithful love of the Lord never ends. His mercies never cease. Great is his faithfulness. His mercies begin afresh each morning. I say to myself, the Lord is my inheritance, therefore I will hope in him. The Lord is good to those who depend on him, to those who search for him." May God bless you.